Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. This is the Echols Unlimited podcast. I am your host, Terrence Echols, and today I have the great privilege of talking to my friend, Mr. Isaiah Lamb. Isaiah is a professional basketball player. He's an entrepreneur. He's a social media personality. He's also a personal trainer. So, like you just said, if you could do something, why not do it all? So, Isaiah, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm all right, just enjoying life. Happy to have you on. Happy to talk today.
Yeah, glad to be
Um,
here.
yeah, yeah. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself? Like, what's your elevator pitch?
Elevator pitch. All right, so my name's Isaiah Lamb. Like you said, been on a cover of Sports Illustrated twice. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, professional basketball player, and as of now, I'm a certified personal trainer. Um, I'm someone that was built off of hard work and dedication. Self-made, trying to get it done, just trying to be financially free and being able to give back to the community. That's the ultimate goal, um, to help people that have been in my situation or is going through things that I've been through or similar things, um, and giving them a little help to get an edge up, in life, period. Either in sports or and not in sports. Um, the goal is to be successful. So I think my purpose in life is to be successful and help others to be successful. Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. And I mean, you've been one of the most inspirational and positive people I've ever been around. And we met through the game of basketball. So my first question to you is, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Um, I fell in love with the game of basketball pretty early. Um, I didn't really know if I wanted to play basketball seriously until I was around eighth grade. However, I always been dribbling the ball around. Always played, basketball in the little hoops in my home. Um, but I would say around like eighth grade is when I played in my first team, middle school team, and I started to take it seriously. I saw that I can be really good at the game, even though both of my older brothers played football, and they were all about football. You know, and it took a lot to kind of like go on the edge and just say I want to play basketball. So
Awesome, awesome. And then, so you didn't really start seriously until high school, is what you're saying?
yes, pretty much, and
Okay.
that's considered late for a lot
Yeah,
of basketball players. Yeah.
absolutely. Like high school normally you already like know what position you're playing, know like what your strengths and weaknesses are, and you're just like getting started, getting into everything. So what
Yeah.
was high school like for you? I know you went through a lot of adversity. I know that you had your ups and your downs. So talk to me a little about what your high school experience was
High school experience. Uh, like you said, it was up and down. I went to three different high schools. Started off at a private school. Um, Tried to play basketball there. Only ended up only staying there for a few months because obviously private school you had to pay for schooling, and I didn't think that was the best situation for me and my family. So I actually had to lie to my parents and tell them I didn't like it, so they can take me out because I knew that what it was doing to the family.
like.
So they took me out of private school. I went to my local high school. Um, think things were going well. I was starting to get a lot of friends, and ended up playing football my freshman year as well. Ended up tearing my ACL and had to sit out my sophomore year of high school for basketball. Ended up transferring to another school, so I'm basically starting from scratch. This is year two for me for basketball, so I was really, you know, um, excited to get going again, and had a great season junior year, and Um, I started to rack up a lot of Division One offers. I think at the time, my junior year had about 12 Division One offers. So things have really picked up for me in that year. Um, However, also during that time, I was going through homelessness. Like in and out of hotels, in and out of friends' houses, friends' homes, and coaches, and in and out of car basically. Um, but other than that, things for me was going really well as far as, schooling and basketball. Then come around to my senior year, um, things are also still accelerating. I'm still getting offers, still doing well in school, and then I end up tearing my ACL for the second time. And that's kind of like when things started to get rough for me personally, because basketball was pretty much all I had. That was kind of like something that I fell back on as like, my happy place when I didn't have the the home to go to, or the resources as other people. Whenever I was feeling bad, I would play basketball, and then senior year is kind of just like cut and dry. I got injured like early in the season, only played half of my senior year, and on top of me being upset about the injury, I ended up going from almost 20 Division One offers to 2. So I thought I wasn't even going to be able to play in college anymore. All the dreams were just basically out of the window. But by the grace of God and all the hard work, and by me being um, a good person, I think my personality and me as a human being, and not just my basketball skills, got me to at least hold 2 Division One offers that I could commit to at the time. That was between Marist and Morgan State, and obviously chose Marist. And uh, and yeah, things got a lot better from there. I moved away to go to New York, and away from my family, and away from kind of like the hard times per se. So that's why I chose to go out of state, get away for a little bit. And it was up from there, pretty much. That was pretty much how my high school career went. Dealing with struggling with homelessness and things from that nature, to the injuries, to finally finding a place in Marist to play ball.
Right. And like you said, you mentioned, I was going to ask you about the two ACLs happening in your high school career. And, just to think about one ACL is like a high school athlete's like worst nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you had two, and not only did you have two ACL injuries, but you were also, dealing with the being issue of being homeless at the time. How did you stay so how were you able to keep going during that time? Because I can't imagine, dealing with not only those three, but also like the stresses of being a high school student, the stresses of being a Black man in Baltimore. Like, how did you deal with everything at the same time?
Um, well, my mom used to always say, one of her favorite quotes was "Nothing lasts forever." I mention it a lot because that was pretty much my mindset. She kept me um, basically in line to having my mindset on the future and what can happen, or what I can have, or what I can do, and not so stuck up on where am I at now and dwelling on my present situation or my current situation at the time. Um, so I would just say, my parents, a lot of people, I was blessed to have two parents, my mom and my dad. A lot of people just have their mom and just had their dad, or don't even have anyone. And that's really, really tough. And I can't even imagine, going through what I was going through without having them. And people do that. And and so that's where I think my blessing was, my tool or my strength came from, is having them, there. We were going through hard times, like really, really hard times, but we all had each other. We can talk, we can make good times out of the bad times. So Whenever I had any type of negative mind or negative thought that could bring me down, I could literally talk to him and they'd tell me, keep my head up or nothing lasts forever. So you may be down now, but you're going to be up soon. And when you get up, you got to keep grinding because you can go back down. So that's where I say I would get my strength from and how I kept my head right.
Right. And I mean, that's amazing. Like you mentioned family, when you put things into perspective, some people don't have, the strength of family behind them and a good support system. And that's so important. And that's so important for us to not only, understand that we have the privilege, those of us who have a family to support us, but that's also like motivation, like that you want to be able to do that for your family in the future, because like you say, like what your mom did for you, and like now you want to be able to do better and provide better for your family, and that's great that you were able to put things into perspective like that, and that's real important. So during this time you were also on the cover of Sports Illustrated. What was that experience like?
Oh, that was a great experience. It's kind of funny how it happened. I was in high school. Uh, Currently, I was a senior, and um, they just called me. They called me on the phone, and the guy was like, "Hello, my name is John Wortham from Sports Illustrated." I was like, I laughed. I said, "Yeah, right. Stop playing on the phone." Like he's like, "No, really, my name is John. From Sports Illustrated. We'd like to come up and do a piece on you." And I was like, well, all right. Whatever you say, basically. Just kind of like pushing it off. And he was like, can I speak to your parents? So I get in front of my mom. She was like, who is this? I said, Sports Illustrated. She said, boy, stop playing. So it was kind of like a joke. It was very funny. It was real funny at the time. And then she got out the phone. She was like, Isaiah, that was really Sports Illustrated. And they're coming up tomorrow. So literally that next day, they came to the house, did the interview in the house. Um, we didn't have any furniture in the house. They actually bought us our first piece of furniture to do the interview, which was just like
Wow.
it was like 4 metal chairs or something like that, so we can sit and do the interview because we didn't have any furniture for them to sit at. And then yeah, we took a little tour around town, showed them some of the places I used to stay at. In particular, it was a laundromat that was near my house where I used to stay at, and the lady inside used to help us out and stuff like that. So we just like a little trip down memory lane, I guess, for us, and just showing them how things were for me growing up in high school. And after the Sports Illustrated was coming out and the release date was coming up, he was telling me, he asked me again, he was like, you sure you want to do this? This is going to change your life or affect your life for the rest of your life. And I was like, yeah, sure, like, why not? I didn't really think it was such a big deal. But after it came out, it was such a huge reaction, like a huge reaction. Like I didn't even think it was going to mean this much because I personally didn't read Sports Illustrated. I knew about it just because of like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or every great athlete been on Sports Illustrated. So I knew about it, but I didn't really think about how much attention it would bring to me. And I went to school the next day, and it was just like so much stuff came after that, and good and bad. People were trying to help me out, give us furniture and stuff. But it was kind of a messed up situation because I couldn't take anything because of college rules.
Yeah.
So we couldn't take the furniture, we couldn't take the food, we couldn't take the money because it was considered gifts, and um, also the bad that came with it. People thought I was lying.
Yeah.
People thought this is all just for the story. I didn't really go through anything because I kept everything to myself. I'm not the type of person that uh, I wear my feelings on my sleeves, but you can never tell if I'm going through something personal or some type of struggle because I always kept a smile on my face, always,
Yep.
encouraged and went on with life without, moping per se. And yeah, people really thought I was lying. They thought it was a made up story. And also the first Sports Illustrated that came out, I was wearing a pair of Jordans. I think it was like Concords.
Mm.
And people was like saying, "Oh, how is he homeless while having these Concords on?"
Uh-huh.
And they weren't even my shoes. Like,
Yeah.
I knew I was doing this Sports Illustrated, so I ain't want to wear no bum shoes. So I asked my
Right.
homeboy, "I wear your shoes," and he let me wear them. So it's just funny because that was like a big thing that everyone was saying. It was like,
Right.
"Oh, he's broke because his priorities wrong," or how is he going through this and he got these Jordans on, and they don't even know the backstory of it. So I just thought
Right.
that was just funny. How people just jump to conclusions. But yeah, that's supposed to illustrate changed my life basically. Also kind of gave me perspective on what's going on because I didn't really know what I was going through was that bad
Hmm.
until after or until I started to get people's feedback and also until I got to Maris. Um,
Right.
I got to Maris, it was kind of like a different outlook on life of how good some people have it and how bad my situation was. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you sort of you talk about, the fact that people would jump to conclusions and everything, and that's truth about everything, bro. Like,
yeah,
people will be so quick to like point out the negative or point out something to like poke a hole in what you're trying to, your argument, what you're trying to, uh, your message. They're trying to poke a hole in it, and I just never understand that, man. Like, you were obviously going through hard times. Like, it's one thing to, look at it and say, oh, he's had hard times, what can I do to like help him, or how that's unfortunate. But it's another thing to say, oh, he didn't really go through that. He's not, like, you can't just go ahead and jump to conclusions like that. Like, that's so frustrating, bro. Like, I
yeah.
don't know. You got to be a tough person to get through that and not throw hands. So I'm impressed.
No, for real. It was definitely frustrating, but I mean, it was kind of like whatever. Like, if you don't believe me, like, what I got to
Yeah.
lie for? Like, uh,
Exactly. Right. And you sort of got into, getting to Marist, and you mentioned like your recruiting process, sort of fell off because of your injury. And that happens to a lot of athletes. It's unfortunate, but I mean that's just the reality of what it is and the business that is NCAA athletics. So why did you end up choosing Marist besides the fact that it was out of state and you wanted to get a new perspective?
um, well, also the coaching staff at the time, it was Coach Maker. Um, he had a lot of faith in me as far as my recovery, and he uh, basically kind of like encouraged me to get better because he felt so highly towards me and my recovery. Far as other schools, they were willing to take me, but I would have the red shirt, or they're willing to take me, but I would, have to do another year of prep school. So it was like a lot of buts after that. When it came to
Yeah.
merits, it was kind of like, oh, we'll take you and we know you'll get better and be a good player for us. So it was just kind of that factor. And Marist had a very diverse campus. Um, as my freshman year, we had players from Iceland, Australia, Sweden, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and by the time I graduated, it was players from Montenegro, So I like that as well. Met a lot of different people from all over the world. and now I feel like I can travel wherever and still know people or have some
Yeah,
type of relation due to marriage. So I did like that about marriage.
yeah, and yeah, you mentioned like that the team when I got here freshman year, it it was like guys from Italy, uh, Finland, like it was it was people from all over the world. I think more than half the team was international. You think
Yeah.
if you think about it, and that's really cool too. But it wasn't all glamorous when you got here. You know, you went through your fair share of adversity in the losing department. What was that like getting through all of that?
Oh, it was definitely frustrating, for sure. Um, the players and the coaching staff was bumping heads a lot. My freshman year was just kind of like trying to get used to everything, because not being used to the college level and how it's supposed to be ran. You don't really know, but then throughout the years, you start to see like, okay, something needs to change, and it was frustrating as far as the basketball part of it, especially because I don't think I was playing to my best ability. There's a lot of frustrations, mentally, you know. Also, me still dealing with my knees. Um, for basketball, I mean, basketball in Marist was, you know, a real roller coaster, up and down. I enjoyed it. We played big schools, Duke, West Virginia, went to some big tournaments. So that was, really, really good. Um, but if I could go back, I wouldn't change anything, but I would just go a little bit harder in the weight room, go a little bit harder in practice, and try to, get a couple more wins.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, I was there. I saw you your junior senior year, bro. You went hard. So
I
it's
was
not
trying.
like, yeah, you were trying for sure, bro. Like you grinded, with the best of them for sure. And aside you mentioned basketball was very up and down, but what was your experience like? In the classrooms, in the dorms, like what else? And just being in Poughkeepsie in general, what was that like to be uh, in such a different environment in this college environment?
I liked it. To be honest, Poughkeepsie is a nice little city. Um, it's funny because there's Poughkeepsie and then there's the Hudson Valley.
Yeah,
So, Poughkeepsie is like more of a city area. They have um, tougher areas where maybe like low income areas in any inner city like. Um, so it kind of reminded me of Baltimore a little bit in that aspect. And then there's a totally other side where the Hudson Valley, where it's supposed to be like really nice and um, I guess a higher upper class of people. So you got your balance there in Poughkeepsie. So I like that. Um, uh, I like the fans in Poughkeepsie. They stood behind us as a group at Marist, even if we weren't playing the best. So I love that. I wish we could have gave them more. I always felt bad. They doing everything to come out to the games, and we'll lose it by like one or two. A tough loss. But yeah, I like the Poughkeepsie area. Probably wouldn't want to live there now, but
yeah,
it was a good experience.
mm,
Yeah.
right. And while you were here, you started to do some stuff not only on the court, but you were very active off the court as well. You started your own business, you started your YouTube, you started to do some classes towards the end of your senior year. I remember I attended a few, and yeah, yeah. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I attended a few, and it was tough. So what made you want to like start, becoming an entrepreneur even as a college student?
Um, well, I wanted more, and the simple fact of not everyone's gonna go to the NBA, and I started to notice that, more and more in college. I'm like, all right, so I'm comparing myself to other people in the country, really, and like I was saying, I was kind of like comparing myself, as far as my averages, my points and everything. And I'm like, it's going to be really tough to get to the NBA if I'm being realistic. So, what else is there for me to do? And I always wanted to be a business owner. I always wanted to own my own business, be my own boss and not work underneath someone else. So I started in college. I was like, what do I like to do? And I've been working out my whole life. You know, how have I been working out? I haven't been going to the gym because growing up, I didn't have a membership to a gym. I've been working out at home. So why can't I persuade other people to do that may not have the resources like I didn't? So I started out with core sliders. I found the core sliders online. I thought it was a great um, workout equipment, and I basically turned it into my own brand. I started with the core sliders, came out with Lowlam Company, and
Yes,
is based
sir.
around home workout equipment. So um, at the time, I just had the sliders, and to bring awareness to it, I started the class, like you mentioned, just to show people all the things that you can do with just your body weight, with no weight needed. And then I doing, um, started selling online with them and I reached out to a couple physical therapy offices because it's good for physical therapy as well for people that's trying to recover from any type of strain,
Accident or injury or something?
injury. Yeah, because when I tore my ACL, I actually used core sliders, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
yeah, I know that you can use it in physical therapy. Um, so yeah, I just started building from there. Now I have resistant bands, yoga mats, and I'm coming out with some more home equipment where you can take anywhere, travel with them, get a good workout at home. And now, COVID came and all people have to do now is work out at home. So that
Right.
actually helped, bring some light to what I'm doing, because
Mhm.
I've been doing it since as long as I remember, and now people need it. So it was actually great for me.
Awesome. Awesome. And yeah, you also do clothing too.
Yeah, yes, we have
Mhm.
clothing as well. Um, the clothing is something I mostly sell workout clothes, something that you can work out in, feel comfortable. Um, I have like some streetwear as well. I have tennis shoes as well, so I always wanted my own shoes. So hey,
Yeah.
I might as well start now.
Yes,
Don't have
sir.
to be through Nike, it can be through Lowland. So
Exactly.
got a little bit of
That's
everything.
what's up, man. Yeah, and it's pretty much just you, right? It's just you working on all this stuff, doing pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. And then you know, you mentioned not being like not everyone goes to the NBA, but you're still talented. You still had a very good college career. You were able to play. I just seeing you play your junior, senior year. 6-man junior year, senior year, you were a starter and played big minutes and were a key defender on in most of the games. So you had the talent to play professionally. Uh, what sort of went into becoming a professional basketball player? And I know you spent last season your rookie year in Armenia. What was that experience like?
Uh, well, coming out of college, I knew I wanted to still play basketball. Even if it wasn't in the NBA, like in the G League or overseas. I just being realistic, I knew that I would have to take some type of stepping stone to get there. I didn't just completely give up on it, but I just know that there's going to have to be some stepping stones. So, out of college, was looking to play overseas, and I was getting quite a bit offers from like Germany, um, Denmark, Sweden, and a few other countries, but I just did not know how to go about it. I didn't have an agent. I wasn't reaching out to other players who've been there and done that. I was just kind of trying to handle it on my own. And I ended up not taking any of them, just kind of like waiting and stalling, I guess, for the right one. Ended up losing them all. And then by the time it was like November, so now it's late and people aren't really looking for players now. And I didn't sign anywhere. I got a late call. I reached out to an agent. I was like, "Can you help me find somewhere to go?" And he was like, "Oh man, like you didn't sign anywhere yet, like, and
Mm.
you're a good player. Like you should have easily signed somewhere." And then he's like, "Hey, I got this team in Armenia. You're looking for a player." And I was like the highest paid player. They was really excited to get me, and once I said yes, they got me a ticket, and I had to leave that next day. So it was literally less
Yeah.
than 24 hours of me
Wow.
making a decision and me having to fly 23 plus hours away. Yeah, it was a long, long flight too. So long, long day of traveling. Um, and especially for it to be last minute like that, it was tough. Armenia, uh, it was an experience, both good and bad. You know, it was an okay rookie spot. I wouldn't want to go back and play there now, um,
Right.
but I did like the experience of being a rookie and kind of going there because it's not the most glamorous place, but it's a place where you go there and do your work. Like you stay focused and you grind and you just hoop. So like that's kind of the mentality I had about it. If a player had the mentality of going there, having fun, and going out and stuff,
Yep.
it probably wouldn't have been the best for them because Armenia is not a huge um, going out city, I guess you should say. Um, and plus, they weren't so fond of black people as well over there. So
Oh.
yeah, so
Oh
I
man.
stayed to myself pretty much.
Right.
The little kids like me. I made the most out of the experience. I used to go outside and play basketball with the kids that like basketball.
Mm.
Um, I even ran a little camp there at the park. You
Oh,
know,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. So I made the best out of it for sure. Because we didn't have much gym access, so I used to go to the park. I had my low lamb stickers, and the kids would be playing games for the stickers, and it was fun. I made the most out of it. I can say that much. And I know by the time I left, there was still kids there that follow me on Instagram. They still look at what I'm doing, and they like Lowland. So it's all
Mm.
part of building a brand and building
Right.
awareness and kind of like leaving a good taste in people's mouth about when I leave. Like they're gonna
Right.
remember me forever now.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, that's great that you were able to, find something to do. I can't imagine what it's like just, being in a country, you know, that being the only basketball being the only thing you're there to do, but like it's 24 hours in a day. And I definitely get that. And I love to hear that you're out here inspiring the kids with the stickers and all that. I love that. Cause I know a bunch of stickers are still hanging around Marist College campus, bro. You definitely left your mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you've inspired me to get my own stickers. I mean, honestly, check it out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna need
sir.
some of those.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I mean, I love to hear that, and I love to hear that. You know, you made the most out of that opportunity, even though it probably wasn't the best opportunity that you could have had. And so you were able to keep busy by doing stuff. And I saw you a lot. You were active on social media during the time as well. And social media is something you utilize as not only for pleasure but also for business. I mean, I know you have the Lowland page that you run. You have your own page that you run. What is that like? Talk to me a little bit about like your social media presence.
um, I'm a big social media guy. I love social media. There are a lot of people who, despise social media, don't like it. They think it's a distraction. But I just think that there's so much you can do with it. And it's basically like a big marketing tool,
Absolutely.
it's free marketing. Um, if I want to start a brand and get it out there, it's literally could be as simple as me starting an Instagram and getting it out there that way. You can reach so many different people from all over the world by just Instagram. And um, yeah, it's a way of connecting with people. So I can, Instagram had helped me build my brand so much through, especially with Lowland. Getting other people, sending people free stuff in exchange for them to make a video, and getting people's opinion on different products and things like that. It's really good. I utilize it to the max basically, and I think it's uh, going pretty well for me. Um, Yep, all I need is that verification badge, and then things is
Yes,
really
sir.
going up.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's your ticket right there. Is you
Yeah,
get that blue check? Oh man, the brand's gonna see you. They're gonna be like, "What
yeah,
do we
yeah.
have here?"
Special. Little hint right there. It's on the.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Verify my boy. Verify Zay. 2020. I'm gonna start a what's it called? A movement. Verify Zay 2020. Yeah. And then so you also are a certified personal trainer, fitness coach, whatever you want to call it. You mentioned how, not having access to a gym uh, growing up. So that's why you focus on mostly body workouts and, just being creative. And the quarantine, that was perfect time for you to shine, honestly. And you definitely took advantage of that. I saw a bunch of your videos. I saw a couple weeks ago you posted a video with like this blue juice in your in a thing. You were carrying it up a hill. I'm like, oh man, they really got the juice now. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, look at this dude. And so what is it like to try to help people reach their fitness goals?
It means everything. When it comes to fitness, that also brings, some happiness. People, you can blow off stress that way. Great way to, relieve stress. Um, I actually got my certifications while I was in Armenia. So just
Mm,
using the best of my free time, because there's a lot of downtime over there. I was taking online classes to get my certifications, and I completed it right before I got home, just so I can, when I get home, I can hit the ground running. Because I
right,
was doing it the year before, but I just didn't have my certifications, and now I
right.
have it. It makes things a lot better, a lot easier. Um, and yeah, my goal is just to get people the body that they want, the body that fits them, um, and to make them happy. If you're feeling uncomfortable in your skin, you know, uh, then it needs to be changed, and someone needs to, help them with that or help. So I'm here to, help people, the ultimate goal, feel comfortable in your skin, feeling comfortable with your shirt off, or feeling comfortable exposing your skin and not being, scared or self-conscious about the way you look. So, that's the goal, because we all have different body types. Everyone's not going to look like me. Everyone's not going to, be in shape, but, it's the hardest part is the motivation. If you have the
Right.
motivation, the drive to want to do it, or if you enjoy the grind, I say, then it's going to become easy. You're going to get the body that you want, you know, the shape that you want. But it's just that motivation, and I'm here to motivate, you know, everyone or whoever to, reach their goals.
Right. And I mean, that's amazing, especially coming from, where you come from and now being able to, inspire and teach people, that they can do what they want in life and they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. So talk to me about, where you come from, because everybody talks about Baltimore and they think of Baltimore as like this rundown uh, city. It's in Maryland and it's very crime. Like they think it has a lot of crime, and I know President Trump likes to use the term in Baltimore is infested with crime and stuff like that. And I hate to hear him say that because I know there's some even from being at Marist, the people I've met from Baltimore are amazing people. I mean yourself and Jordan Jones, who's currently at Marist. He was on the podcast about a year ago. So what is Baltimore really like?
Uh, Baltimore is a great place. One of my, if not the best city, in the world. Of course, I'm biased, but I love Baltimore. It's in the DMV, um, and every city has their, crime spots or bad spots. So Baltimore isn't all bad, um, but it is tough. Baltimore. If you live in Baltimore, um, you learn how to deal with all kinds of people. And um, depending on what area you're living in Baltimore, depends on um, what type of people you're gonna get, basically. But I love Baltimore. Always been my home. Um, and the way Trump made it seem like it's a terrible spot. I know in the media, the people view Baltimore as a bad place, plus the riots and everything like that. But it's not so bad. There's Baltimore has its good spots, just like every other city.
Great. Yeah. And so I mean, I mentioned everything that you do. Like, is that hard to manage everything?
Mm, it can be challenging, but I have a pretty tight knit schedule. Just like for school, I used to always have the planner. You write it down, your classes, your homework, and um, you have to find out what you can do for yourself to stay on top of things. Like since I'm out of school, having a planner to write down just wasn't it for me, because I'm not
Mm,
checking the planner. I'm not in my books. I'm not carrying a book bag to have my planner. So I couldn't
right.
do that. And so I tried using my reminders, my phone, couldn't do that. But so you need to find out like what fits you. Like I now use the app Google Calendar, and I have another website that I use to help track everything. And that's pretty much how I go by. I go by my phone and my calendar. I put down every little thing I have to do, like even
Mm,
if it's to just take pictures, or even if it's to make a post on Instagram,
yep.
or I even have a reminder to make comments, on Instagram. It's important. Everything
Right.
everything matters. It seems like it doesn't, like little things like that shouldn't matter, but it does. And to stay on top of it like that, it really makes a difference, you know? So, um, yeah, so I just, always use my phone, the calendar to stay on top of things, and just time management, you know, getting things done when it needs to be done and not putting things off, and staying on top of things pretty much. Yeah.
That's great. And so, I mean, to end the podcast off, let's talk a little bit about, advice. Because if I'm coming to anybody for some sort of advice, I know that you've been through it, that you have, you've lived life to the fullest. You've been one of the most positive and inspirational people I've ever met, and that stands to this day. Um, what type of advice would you give to somebody who's who feels like they're at the bottom?
Um, Same advice I got from my parents. Nothing lasts forever. That's the to me that's the best advice I can give. Um, because when you're down and you feel like you're in a worse place mentally and things aren't going to get better, if you just turn that light switch in your head that nothing lasts forever, meaning yes, you're accepting the fact that it's tough right now, but it's not going to last, like meaning it's going to be better times ahead of you, but you have to act on it. So you just can't say it's going to be better times and just sit and wait. You have to say it's going to be better times and then go and get better
Yes,
times.
sir.
So, just off of that, if you want to play basketball, you're a high school student, and you say you want to go to a Division I school to play basketball, and right now you're not making a high school team, it's okay. Accept the fact you didn't make it. You have to get better and know that there's going to be better times, meaning you just can't wish for it. You got to know that you're still going to get to that Division I school, or you got to know that you're still going to get to the school to play and work for it, make it happen, and things will change.
Absolutely, bro. And you got that right. It really just comes down to the work you're willing to put in my own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And the work is hard. It's a term that, everybody says is, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And, it is not always easy. It is not always nice. But if you really want to, uh, get the fruits of your labor and really enjoy life, you're gonna have to put in some sort of effort and some sort of work, or somebody's gonna have to do that for you. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on today, bro. I really do. It's been
I
nice,
appreciate
nice to
the
see you,
invite, bro.
man. Facts,
Yeah,
of
nice
course.
seeing you. I look up to you too, man. You might not think so, but what you did was big, man. You came in, manager, wanting to play, may not have been getting the opportunity, but you stuck in there, worked for it, and now you're a walk on. That's big.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People that were in that position, walk ons, they're not even there anymore. You hung in there. You went from being below to, moving up. And, keep working, man. Just know that the work
Of
is
course.
being noticed. I'm not even there, and I heard about that all the way in Baltimore.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Notice, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. I will. And I wish you the best of luck this season. Do you know where you're heading yet?
Don't know. Waiting on the deal. Possibly could be playing in Germany.
Okay.
Could be Macedonia. Don't really want to go to
Oh.
Macedonia, but much rather go to Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible. Don't know yet. Still waiting.
Awesome. Awesome, man. I mean, I'll be tuned in.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'll be tuned into like your social medias and all that. You want to shout that out?
Oh yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at Fit Like Lamb and on Facebook. Um, all one word, Fit Like Lamb, and I have my business page, where I sell cord sliders, distance bands, all your home needs for workout equipment, as well as some gear. At Lolamb Co, Lolamb LOLAMBCO, all one word. And yeah, check out the page, man. I'll be giving out some free things, so you definitely want to check it out. Maybe hit the notification button so you can stay alert. So when these free things come out, you can be on it. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. All right. I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna see you around. All right.
All right.
All right. Peace.